Hey everyone, it's FLAK. Battlefield 2042 Season 6 is coming on October 10th. Today I'm pleased to show you some gameplay of the new content from a recent capture event. Thanks to EA for the invite. First, let's talk some impressions and address the question that everyone seems to have. Is Redacted the next Locker or Metro? The short answer here is yes. There are hallways, choke points, and flanking routes. For better or worse, the grind is back in Battlefield. Personally, I love the Metro and Locker style maps, so I had a great time playing on Redacted, and it is unequivocally my favorite map in Battlefield 2042. When this drops, I guarantee you will find me playing on the Redacted 24/7 1,000-ticket servers. Absolutely gonna happen. Specifically though, Redacted is something Battlefield 2042 has desperately needed. It is an infantry-only experience, and it is the only example in the game. I know some people aren't thrilled about that, but infantry is part of Battlefield's DNA. We've had infantry-only maps in Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, Battlefield Hardline. Just to name a few examples. It's still mind-blowing to me that Battlefield 2042 launched without an infantry-only experience. I've said this previously, but I haven't really been able to get a handle on gunplay in Battlefield 2042 to actually decide if it's good or bad. Due to the wide-open maps and plentiful vehicles, most engagements are longer range, and you don't ever really get a good feel for infantry gameplay. There are some flashes and isolated exceptions, of course, like the interior of Exposure, for example, but the game has really lacked something for players who like infantry combat, and Redacted delivers that experience. The map flows extremely well. I've seen a few comments concerned over the even number of objectives, but Redacted really focuses on the combat between the two dome areas. There are several flanking routes to prevent combat from getting completely bogged down, and I'd argue backcapping is easier here than on Metro or Locker. The entire experience is underground for Redacted, and call-ins as well as Angel's Crate have been disabled on the map. The even number of objectives also forces your team to be aggressive and to take risks. You're really not rewarded here for locking down your site's dome. I've seen a lot of questions on how Battlefield 2042 specialists will impact the grindy gameplay we're gonna expect from Redacted. And during the capture session, I had a couple of hours on Conquest and TDM. You'll probably notice here there's a mix of other creators and bots to make sure the lobbies are full, but I did not encounter anything I would describe as game-breaking. However, most of you know what they say, no map survives contact with the Battlefield community. If there's a way to break this map, I'm sure it's going to happen. Hopefully DICE is prepared for that, and they will make the requisite changes. Compared to previous maps, Redacted does far more for the narrative DICE are trying to tell in Battlefield 2042. Set pieces are unique, and it does feel like a change in direction for the game. I do know they brought in some developers from the Dead Space franchise to give the map, some more creepy vibes, and I do think that effort certainly paid off. Redacted's atmosphere is heavy, and it's claustrophobic. We did get a tease the other day for something coming on Halloween, but unfortunately, I don't have any information on what that is. It was not discussed in feedback sessions, and devs specifically said there was no new game mode arriving with the launch of Season 6. I guess whatever's happening later this month technically isn't included in the launch, but it's certainly a new kind of experience, probably based on the new map. Taking a look back at the footage I recorded, I did see a few of these crypts scattered across the map, so my money here on some sort of horde mode, but nothing to confirm at this time. As for the weapons in Season 6, I really enjoyed them. The VHX D3 I think was a bit underpowered with standard issue rounds, but high power ammo made it a reliable option. The audio cue for reloading I felt like was slightly early in the build that I played. I mentioned this during feedback, but just something to be aware of here. It's worth noting, I believe that aim assist and recoil changes were live in the build that I played. Gunplay felt particularly smooth and more reminiscent of previous titles. That's important, I'll come back to it later. The G428 was a real surprise to me out of the new weapons. I had expected something less controllable. It's select fire in Battlefield 2042, and you can switch between single and automatic modes. Most of the time I used the standard issue ammo with the extended magazine. This gave me about 20 rounds to dole out with plenty of control and a decent fire rate. The gun sounds awesome, and it really gave off the same vibes as something like a Browning automatic rifle. Close range sights were limited, but the irons were adequate. There were also some canted sight options for other scopes. The G428 was absolutely vicious at locking down longer corridors, but struggled in close quarters because of its fire rate. Somewhat uniquely, I also want to point out you can equip a grenade launcher on the G428. Another pleasant surprise was the L9CZ. This pistol packs 16 rounds right off the bat and can fire just about as fast as you pull the trigger. Inspired by the Logo Arms Alien pistol, the weapon provides a constant sight picture and is extremely easy to keep on target. I was also impressed by its accuracy at range. You can equip an extended magazine on it that provides 26 rounds of ammunition, which ensures you're not going to run out anytime soon. I actually used it on one match of TDM almost exclusively as kind of a challenge to myself, and was really taken aback at how much it held its own. Other things to mention here about Season 6 I haven't yet touched on. We do have the new update adding ammo and med pouches for the support class. These were, of course, a favorite in previous Battlefield games and now finally make an appearance in Battlefield 2042. They work similar to how they did in Battlefield 1, meaning you can toss them on the ground for later, or they will magnet to target players. The ammo pouches, I have confirmed, do not resupply explosives, so you will still need the crate for that. Unfortunately, with this capture session, I didn't get any time hands-on with the YUV Pond Hawk, as Redacted is a subterranean infantry-only map, but I did get to ask a couple questions about it. Right, the two-seater is considered a light transport vehicle, like the LATV, and it has to be selected from the vehicle spawn screen. It does not spawn in world like some of the smaller vehicles, right? The Razor, the Sportsman, the Tuk-Tuk. Developers also mentioned the Pond Hawk can't fly as high as helicopters, so don't expect to stray too far from the ground with it. It does have thermal smoke to defend against lock-ons, and yes, you are able to use it to get road kills. The Battle Pass has 100 tiers of pretty standard fare. There are plenty of cosmetics here. Dark McKay and FLAK are some standouts. I did actually like those. Strangely, I don't think all of the specialists have a themed outfit for the new season. I could be wrong, but that was kind of a surprise to me and maybe a bit of a missed opportunity. I will say this is probably the best Battle Pass DICE has put together to date, primarily because the cosmetics are actually sort of appealing. Overall for Season 6, Redacted is a big puzzle piece that was missing from Battlefield 2042. I am going to take a minute. I'm going to actually say this. I encourage you, if you put the game on the back burner or walked away, to give Redacted a shot. It might be exactly what you've been looking for. Other improvements to recoil and vehicles are hitting at the right time as well, and I don't want to speak too boldly here, but it feels like DICE have righted the ship. I still don't care for the game's original maps, but Season 6 tells me something important, right? Devs still know what Battlefield is, and hopefully they're going to hold that course for the future. Again, Battlefield 2042 Season 6 Dark Creations launches on October 10th. Make sure to tell me what you think of everything down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If not, a dislike. Make sure to subscribe. Tap the bell to get updates on all the latest Battlefield news. And if you want to support the channel, keep your money, share this video. It goes a long way to help. As always, thanks for watching.